In this session, we will learn how to create manual journal batch. Let's briefly understand the meaning of journal batches in Oracle Journal Ledger. You can organize journal entries with common attributes into batches. For example, you might group your journal entries by type or date. You can have multiple journal entries in one batch, or you can have separate batch for each journal entry. A batch can contain multiple journals, each of which can belong to different ledger, but all of the ledgers within a batch must have same calendar, period type, and chart of accounts. If you do not want to enter a batch information, you can enter a journal directly. Journal Ledger will create a batch for the entry automatically using the source combined with unique batch ID and system dates. Let's see how we can create this. Let's log on to the responsibility 2M Global Journal Ledger. And we are in the main menu. Let's click on the menu journal and enter. This opens up a Oracle form, and we have an option to choose a new batch or new journal. So let's select new batch. And then in the new batch, we will not give a batch ID because we want the system to assign a batch ID. So the period is right, July 13th. We want to keep it, and we want to keep the balance type actual, and also we want to keep the journal type standard. So now let's click on the journal which is attached to the journal batch. Here again, we don't want to give a journal ID because we want the system to assign a journal ID for this journal. And we are in global 2M global ledger, and we want the category to be adjustment. We want to keep this adjustment category, and we want to enter our transaction, our journal entry in US dollars. So let's go to the line level and click on the line and put a number sign, put number 1 and tap. See, look at the journal ID the system created. System created a journal ID and also the batch ID with the date and the time. So this is how the system automatically generates a batch ID in the journal ID if you don't want to assign any value to the batch and journal ID numbers. So let's create multiple journal entries in this batch. So let's create an adjustment for the asset cost account. Let's choose the company M2 Global. Then let's look at the cost center supply chain, and then let's look at the account asset cost, that is debit, a line of business, shared services, and region. Let's take it as Asia, and let's say $7,000 is the cost of the asset for which we want to make adjustment. Now you can copy this same string and paste it here and just change, assuming you want to retain all other values same. For example, you want to keep the company, cost center, line of business, region, everything same. Then you can just change the account value. In this case, we want to give credit to asset clearing account. So this is the asset clearing account, and say $7,000 credit, and let's give a description as asset adjustment. Now you can copy this and paste it here unless you want to change the description. Now let's go to the second entry. Here, let's say we want to create some adjustment for the depreciation expense. So, and let's choose a different company. I mean, we want to create it for in the different company, say 3M Global. Here the cost center is manufacturing, and say let's choose depreciation expense because that's where we want to make the adjustment. And then line of business could be manufacturing, and region could be Europe. So enter this, and let's say $3,000 is our depreciation expense. We can copy this, paste it here, and change this to depreciation reserve. The account will be changed to depreciation reserve. Okay, this is 3000. Now let's say depreciation adjustment. Copy, paste. Now we have created two journal entries for this journal batch, and we can add a couple of more entries too, or you can add as many entries as you want, or you can come back later and add entries to this particular journal batch. So let's save this. Now when you save it, it says 6 records applied and saved. So what are those 6 records that's being referred to here? One is at the batch level, header level for journal, and 4 2 debits and 2 credit records. So basically there are 6 records here. So this is how you create a journal batch.